Hello everyone, this is Puddnhead, and this is going to be a different kind of a video. Instead of the normal just talk about the game as it's going on. This is a game that I played against Zot. I am the Siren in the upper left. Zot is the alternate Force Master in the lower right. And the game itself is not really what I want to talk about right now. I want to talk about tactics. Why do what you do, and I would love to make this a series. If this is really interesting to you or new players find this particularly useful, then I want to keep doing this. Um, I find that the stuff that I enjoy about the game is tactics and not so much the strategy. Now, let me define those terms. To me, the strategy of Mage Wars is in book building and in designing your plan for winning before the game starts. So, why are you putting what cards in your book? What are you planning to do with it? What are you planning to counter with it? That's what I would call the strategy of Mage Wars. The tactics are in maneuvering around the field and in choosing the spells for each turn. Um, it gets a little blurry at that point, and choosing your spell as you're kind of guessing at what the enemy's going to do, so that can be construed as strategy. Tactics are what to do with what you're faced with right now, in the definition that I'm using. So I want to talk about some of the tactics in here. I am going to pause it every once in a while and explain why I did something or why I should have done something differently. And because I know my book, I wouldn't really be able to do this very much with a book that I don't know. So these are largely going to be my games. But I would love to have some people on to talk about their games and the reason that they choose the tactics they do. Um, so let's get started. Here we go. I'm probably going to keep this going at a pretty good clip here because for my first choice was to give Zot the first action. Zot is playing blue. I'm playing purple, of course. And the reason I do that is so that I know whether or not I should move with my Siren. The Force Master is often an aggressive mage, so I wasn't planning to move, but since he didn't move, I figured that I wanted control of the middle with my Shell of Seeds, so I'm going to move. I'm playing a Shell Siren, so I play Shell and Mana Flower, and it looks like Zot has not given any of his strategy away. He's got a Force Ring and a Mana Crystal. Normally, if you see like a Battle Forge or something like that first, then you figured out what their strategy is. The Force Ring tells me that he's going to play a Force spell every turn, if possible. So I deploy a turtle just in case of aggression, and then I'm going to move for Shadow Sea because that'll give me channel and will give me control of the middle. I think I put some leather on. Yeah, leather. Looks like I see a Thought Spore coming out. I'm going to assume that he's going to try and either, what's it called, Mind's Eye. If he's playing a Thought Spore in the corner and he's a Force Master, he's going to Mind's Eye the next turn after a Thought Spore, and I'm assuming he's either going to sleep or dispel, or not dispel, just dissolve, because he might want to try and get rid of my shell. So I'm going to try and get a creature out this turn and make a plan for dealing with that Thought Spore. I see Force Armor come out, so I put a snake on the board because rots are good, and I wanted to use the mana for something else. So looks like he is going to target my turtle, which, yep, it's a sleep spore. So that is bad for me. My whole strategy here with the Shell Siren is creatures and being able to do things with creatures. So if all of my creatures are asleep, that's going to be a problem. So I need to take out that Thought Spore. And I do have tools in the book for dealing with that, so you'll see those in the near future. Okay, and we are discussing whether or not I can activate the turtle, or if it just does nothing. And the answer is I can activate the turtle and do nothing with his action. So I can still delay my Siren's action by using the turtle. So I'm going to times 10 this thing. Oh, all right, so I moved the... All right, so I prepared a Chant of Rage that I'm going to put on the Thought Spore here. and I will reveal the Chant of Rage after upkeep so that the Thought Spore can't sleep any of my creatures, and I don't lose a Dissipate with no effect. Speaking of tactics. So I have a couple armor on. I figure this guy's going to get aggressive at some point, so I'm going to need that. I've got more armor in the book, but I don't need it right now. So what I need to do is focus on the ability to kill this Thought Spore and keep my creatures alive. Unfortunately, this snake has a rot chance, and I definitely don't want the rot chance on the turtle. Otherwise, I would go up here and wake up the turtle with the snake, or try to. But it's just not worth it at this point. It's still a delay action. I can still, I just can't use it to attack anything, which, yeah, oh well. Oh well. So let's keep this on 5 times speed. So that is a Chant of Rage on the Thought Spore. And I'm going to drop something out of my shell this turn that will deal with the Thought Spore. Because the Thought Spore has to run 2 zones toward me with Chant of Rage. So I'm planning my mana and making sure I have enough for the things I need to do. He moves the Mind's Eye a little closer. Planning, of course, to sleep this serpent, I'm guessing. I drop a Wetland Titan Frog because it has reach. He drops a wall, assuming that I'm going to move closer and do something to him. I wasn't planning to. I was planning to draw the Thought Spore to me. So I'm going to require that the Thought Spore moves forward. He's going to gain a mana. I'm going to move and guard with the snake. And the Thought Spore has to run in here. He's going to choose not to do that this turn. He's going to drop a Psylocke, which is totally weird. But that's okay. I enchant myself. And then I Hawkeye and Geyser to get some damage on the Thought Spore. It's not much damage, but there it is. I believe I have initiative this round. No, I don't. So it's his initiative, and I'm worried that he's going to dispel the Chant of Rage, and then I'm going to be out of luck. So I'm going to prepare another ranged ability here. All right, so we've got Mind's Eye moving down. So now he's got control of the middle with the Mind's Eye. I'm going to drop another frog, just in case I don't, because I see him drop another flying creature. So I choose another frog. And he's going to gain a mana, so I don't think that was the right choice. If he has some way to dispel the Chant of Rage, he should do that and then move the Thought Spore away. So the frog does a terrible job. All right, he's targeting Chant of Rage. He took a Disperse, so he had to do that as a main action anyway. I'm going to Boomerang, and I managed to get a very lucky 7 damage off of that Boomerang, which helped me out a lot. The reason I had the Boomerang in here is because all of my creatures are animals, and it's cheaper than the stick. So easy. Keeps me, speaking of strategy, the reason for the Boomerang and for the leather is so that I can keep cranking out creatures every turn with Echo of the Depths and have something to do. A lot of spawn point builds need to find cheap things to do in order to keep the creatures rolling. So that's the plan there. Psylocke moves up. Mind's Eye stays put. I am now thinking that I need to bring the fight to him. So I believe this turn I'm going to move in here and drop a Shallow Sea. And guard in there. This guy is either going to come in here and attack a Psylocke that I draw in, or is going to, and that's next turn. So I'm pulling the Psylocke in. He drops Boku, which is nice. And this guy's going to double move so that it's there to hit the Psylocke when it's time. So he doesn't realize that it's a full action at this point. So we rescind that. He's going to move in with Siren's Call, and then he can move out because he's not hindered. That's perfectly legal. I see Galvatar come down, and now I have to be careful of my creatures. My creatures can die to one hit of a Galvatar. Luckily for me, he doesn't have Force Pull, because that would be insanely bad for me right now. So I now need to be very cautious with my creatures because he can at any point decide he's going to murder them, which I think would be the right choice, to come murder things with Galvatar. I believe he sits in the corner for a little while longer, though. Mind's Eye moves up. I drop another snake. Reason I like these snakes is because of that rot chance. 8-up rot chance is pretty good. And if you don't have a way of dealing with it. Alright, so I woke the turtle up. No, I think I... did not wake the turtle up that turn. I wake the turtle up next turn. I think. So that is a Ballad of Courage on that frog. So that I can... So I Siren's Called this guy, so he doesn't get a mana this turn. And this guy's going to run in here and do damage to that. The Psylocke did its main attack on the frog. We see a Kyros game come out, and this is to lock one of my creatures out of being able to do something. An interesting card. I don't think it matters much in this game. I'm spreading my creatures out here so that when I do pull something, it will have to stay there. So I'm planning to Siren's Call something next turn, and I want it to have to stay there so that it can take damage and die a horrible death. Why not? All right, because I have Ballad of Courage active, I have 2 mana on the shell. And I'm still trying to wake this turtle up. So more snakes, more rots, and some mana left over for me, which is nice. And one reason why I spread my creatures out this turn, I believe I have, yep, I'm going to cast Ethereum Life Tree this turn so that my creatures have more life. I woke the turtle up, and Zot was very unhappy about this, and you'll see why. He's going to use Mind's Eye, and he's going to drop a Force Golem in there and activate it with his Force Master ability. And he was going to come hit the turtle. Or he was going to come hit the frog, but now that he can't keep the turtle from being woken up, he's going to try and kill the turtle. All right, Aboku comes up here and doesn't make his dodge, and I get a rot off on him, which is insane. Also, I have cast the Ethereum Life Tree, and he came up and hit this guy for 7 damage, and the Life Tree has kept it alive, which is why it could counterstrike. So that was well timed, and completely by accident, I'm sure. He's going to come over here and try and kill this tree. I'm going to remove the snake out of danger, and actually move that guy in here. Since I have a guard, I don't have to worry about it. So I do 3 damage on that guy. And then the snake is going to try and kill off this monk, but I don't manage to get the rot. So he's going to come in here and kill off the healthy snake because he does an insane amount of damage, which I agree with that. Definitely agree with that tactical choice. So Now I see that I have several creatures that have a little bit of damage on them. So I'm planning to gather them all together and get some healing magical going. So that's my goal this round. If I can keep my creatures alive, I can win the game. So one of these cards is healing magical. Yep, healing magical. And I also would like to keep this tree alive. So I need to make sure that my that this golem and this Psylocke aren't gonna murder this tree. He might also throw a spell at it. I don't know. I think that happens in this game. Because the tree only has 8 life. It doesn't give itself +2 life. All right, another snake. Gonna get some rots off on this mage, hopefully. And he force hammers the tree. That does 6 damage instead of 8 damage. So I'm gonna put a shallow sea out here to. So let me pause this for a second. The reason I put a shallow sea out here is because if he tries to attack this with a monk, there's a chance that he does 0 damage, right? Because he only rolls 1 die instead of 2 dice. And that's what I was kind of hoping for, since it's his initiative. I could have done a surging wave on him. What I wanted him to do was think that he needed to waste an action with something that had 4 dice trying to kill this snake. But I think he gets the hit off. And yep, he kills the snake. So, oh well. But this also makes it so that my counterattack into this zone is going to do 1 extra die per creature. So that's what I shall see. And I do have somewhat dominant control of the middle at this point. So that part of my original strategy has worked. I'm going to come in here and try and get a rot off on the. Yep, I got a rot off and for 3 damage because he's got 1 armor. It's just atypical of Zot. Usually he has like 3 armor at this point. So I don't know what he's doing. Apparently I've put enough threats out there or something that he's felt like he had to deal with those. So I have a guard in here, so I'm not worried about this guy yet. He's going to come down here and only be able to roll 3 dice anyway. 3 dice could kill the turtle, but is unlikely to kill the turtle. Boku's going to attack the snake. Totally fine. He would have to roll max damage to kill it. Actually, he couldn't even because he has to roll 1 less die, so I wasn't worried about that. I'm going to come in here and guard with the frog. And then I think I'm going to move the turtle out at the end of this. Yep, so there's the healing magical on the turtle. The turtle is the best choice for that because it has 4 armor and is likely to stick around for a long time. So, and this is where he's going to attack the tree. With this, oh, he can't because it's a full action. But this is also where I make a mistake. So, right. I have moved in here with this to attack here. What I think I think that's okay. It's the next action that's a mistake, and I should have done something differently. All right, so we get 6 damage on the Psylocke. He's going to move in here, and he's going to cast his living weapon, Shifratar. So that's going to do some serious damage to me. I think he's got to hit the frog first, and then I think he's going to try for the snake. Yeah, I wanted to keep the turtle far away from the Force Master because Galvatar is Pierce 2. So I did not want to move this yet. He's going to pay mana to sweep with Shifratar, which you can do. That is perfectly legal. And I think he is planning to hit the frog first. Yep, frog first, and then snake. Okay, so this is actually perfect scenario for me. I'm going to move this turtle in and be able to heal 6 damage off of my creatures, which is muy bueno. However, I have forgotten that this creature is here. And I'm going to make a mistake here. I think I got a counter strike first on the Force Master. Yep. No, and then I used the frog. So this is what I did wrong. I used the frog to attack the Force Master, which is not going anywhere. I got plenty of time to do this. And what I should have done is move this guy out of harm's way. This guy is, if this guy dies, my entire plan for the turn is gone. So that was a critical error. I need to move this guy in here, and I can even guard with him. That would be fine. Or I would probably attack the Force Master at this point because he's only got 1 armor on, and I would do 4 dice. So I should have moved this guy in here to attack the Force Master. He would still have to attack the frog as the guard and would not be able to kill it. And then I could either move the frog in here to guard, or probably stay here to heal damage and attack the Force Master. So that was a tactical error. Thankfully, in this scenario, it doesn't blunder me. He's trying to figure out which thing to attack, and I'm sitting here saying, "Please attack the frog. Please attack the frog." But I think he eventually ends up attacking the turtle and gets like 2 damage off on him or something. So bad news for me. Three damage. So that turtle would have been dead if he had killed the tree with that Force Hammer. And it was staggered, so I couldn't come in here and attack. So I not only did I make a critical error and almost lose my turtle, but I did not get to attack another time the Force Master. So that is the kind of tactical thinking you want to be able to do on the fly when you've got a scenario like this. But I do get the turtle in there. The turtle does heal 6 damage off of my creatures, which is lovely. The tree heals itself. 2 goes down to 4 damage. And at this juncture, I'm not too worried about him spending resources killing the tree. I've got him in the middle of a shallow sea, and I've got a bunch of creatures around him, and I'm just going to go to town. So the turtle is going to attack first. Then I'm going to cast lesser invisibility on the turtle so that he can't retaliate on the turtle, and the turtle will still be able to heal everything this turn. And the Psylocke is going to kill the tree, or try to kill the tree. There you go. 1 damage. I still have a guard in here, so we're going to step out and try and we do get another rot and 4 damage on this shallow sea is so good. It's so good. He's going to come in here and kill my snake, which is an excellent choice. Since he can't get to the tree at this point, I think I'm going to guard with the siren so that he can't sweep 2 of my creatures. I'm going to come in here and do more damage to the mage. I'm also guarding because I only have 2 life. And I bring this guy in so that I can heal. So all these guys are in here so that I can heal them up. And I have done a ton of damage to the Force Master this turn. A ton, which is very nice for me. Now it's his go, and he's going to do something that messes my plan up entirely. And good on him for doing that. He is hemming and hawing at a little point, seeing if he wants to do this. But I am currently set to heal off at least 7 damage. And then he pulls this repulse trick. So he's going to push everything out of this zone. So he's going to start with the siren. Siren has to go left. I think we failed to realize that this guy comes down here. And we realize it later. Okay. His creature goes that way, and that creature goes that way. And then repulse is done, and he still has his action. And I have 2 guards in this zone, so he cannot hit the tree this turn. Oh, you know what? I don't think he was able to hit the tree. I think that was a mistake. We miscalculated. And then I think I attacked the Force Master with that and do no damage because he has an armor. But I had another guard in here. He should have had to hit me and that. So I should still have a tree. Oh well. Healing Magical still heals 3 damage, so not a waste. That's why you put it on a hurt creature, if you can, so that it at least does 2 healing every turn. That's why the turtle is so good, because it's got 4 armor and it's unlikely to die off. So I put another turtle out here, because I figure I'm going to need to do another magical at some point. And the turtles are tanky. If he's going to be sweeping into a bunch of stuff, then having 4 armor is going to be useful. The snakes are dying off at a more rapid than I would prefer pace, especially now that I don't have a tree. So he puts an enchantment on, and then is going to guard with his golem. And I don't have to deal with the guard if I'm attacking a flying creature, so I'm going to get that Psylocke out of the way. He's going to gain a mana. I'm going to Siren's Call Evoku with my main action, which means I shouldn't have this guard. I think we realized that later after some shenanigans here. Evoku comes in, does some damage, and dodges. Turtle comes in. And he's going to cast his guard. And then do a sweeping attack. And he's going to do 7 damage to the frog. Or 7 damage to me, and 4 damage to the frog. And then we realize that I shouldn't have had the guard on. And then we rejigger that. So he's going to actually kill that frog. And he wouldn't have paid for sweeping, he says. So I teleport him so that I can get another rot off. Fail to get the rot off, but that should kill him, except then he remembers he has a force field. So we revert that damage, and he puts up another guard. So force field, good tactic. I have 16 mana. Probably what I should have done this turn is dissolve the force field, or dispel the force field. That's what I should have done this turn. I chose not to. But I think the game could have been over 3 turns earlier if I had dissolved the force field or dispelled the force field. I think what I'm thinking here is that there's already a guard in here, and this is one of those really irritating guards that and he's going to force wall. So if I had dispel, I wouldn't have been able to do it anyway. So I decided that I was going to get rid of his extra damage, so he'd have to use his main action to do damage instead of his other weapon to do damage. He's going to come in here and punch my snake. Nope. He's got a guard, so I can't do that. Talk about this a little bit, and I decide to guard with the turtle, and then he passes, and then I attack with the snake. Do 1 damage and take some hits back. He guards with his guardian. I attack with the frog. So this is the right I'm going to pause this for a second. So this is the right way to do this. You want to wait as long as possible to regard your stuff. He's using that tactical pass because I have more stuff, makes it so that he can keep his stuff where he wants it for as long as he wants it, right? Almost. And so I need to effectively use my creatures to whittle away at his defenses while not giving away my position, which is why I guarded with my turtle first, because it has 7 health and 4 armor. -1, has 1 damage. So 6 health and 4 armor. And if I were to attack with one of these guys and take a counter strike, I would be vulnerable to being killed if I didn't have a guard in the way. So that's why I guarded with the turtle first. He would have to use the sweeping effect on here and couldn't use the double strike effect to kill something. So he'd have to hit this guy first and then try and sweep into something, which I'm okay with losing 1 creature since I'm pumping out 1 every turn, and I managed to kill a few of his and I've only lost a couple snakes, I think. But the also guarding with that guy that had 1 dissipate token left was a very good move last round or whatever, because obviously I don't want to attack somebody with Aegis 2 and 9 health and just to have him disappear the next turn, and the damage on my creatures doesn't disappear. So I tried to move around it and do something else. So that bought him some time. And this force wall, I have realized that he has the ability to fly on his actions. So he is not going to be hindered by anything. And I could move these guys up and around over here to where the siren is. But just in case he flies, I want to keep these guys over here. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is attacking this wall to allow my creatures free movement. But what I've been doing is trying to whittle away at this guy. Since he has a lot of dissipates and can guard a lot, I want to get him out of the way so I can get rid of that force field. And he's only got 3 health left. Yep. All right. So let's keep going here. Let's keep going here. I think what I played. I didn't play. Okay. So now that there's no guard, I'm going to kill the monk instead of the guardian, and then I'm going to try and take out the wall. I kept the turtle around just in case he decided to fly across the wall, and then I could attack him. But I'm most likely going to hit that wall. So he's going to move down. I think that he forgot. Oh no, he didn't forget. He wanted to cast a spell. I was going to say I thought he forgot that he can fly, but he wants to cast a spell instead of move 2. He's going to heal himself, mend himself. Sorry, mend himself for 2. I'm going to kill this wall, and then we're going to move on to the next round. Now it is his initiative. He's still got a force field on, and I've got a bunch of creatures that are going to. I'm going to Fermata this healing magical so that I can get all this damage off of my creatures. So healing magical doing a ton of work this game. I think I've removed close to 20 damage off of creatures this turn, or this game, with just 1 healing magical. The reason I pumped out a Tide Elemental, which is not an animal, was because I felt like it was going to be time to keep myself from dying. If he started laying about with Galvatar, I was going to need some strong, tough backup that I could guard with or hit back with or something, or just keep him staggered. So that's why I put the Tide Elemental out. I want all these little creatures out so that I can beat down that force field eventually. But I think I decide after I've got him cornered that I'm just going to get rid of the force field and attack. So the rots have been doing some serious damage this turn, or this game, which is very helpful. I move all my creatures around. Move some guys in here. And move the siren one space. And I'm going to put Ballad of Courage on this Tide Elemental, because if he decides he's going to fly over here and drop out, then I'm going to come in here and attack him. That's the plan anyway. So he has placed Meridia's Shrine because these condition removals, or these rots, have been killing him and are going to kill him if he doesn't get rid of this rot. So he's got to get rid of the rot. I would not put it past him to plan to heal himself and get rid of a rot this turn. So I'm going to make sure that I can get a lot of damage in. And this turn, I'm going to skip deploy, and I'm just going to get rid of the force field. I'm going to skip deploy 2 for the first time in the game and get rid of the force field. And the reason I'm getting rid of the force field now is because I have a lot of damage coming in. So even if he does heal himself, I should be able to pull it out. And he doesn't heal himself. Instead, he skips the quick cast. So I don't even know what cards he had prepared, but there you go. And I was showing him that I was going to Ballad of Courage over there if he had run away. And he was saying, well, I had a rot on me anyway, so running over there wasn't going to work out very well. He had to get rid of that rot before he could run away. Yeah, as a quick action. So, and that's the game. So hopefully you got some tactical advice there, and it was a good reminder for those of you who know everything already. But let me know if you saw some mistakes that I made that I should have done better. I have, let's see, just for reference, this is what I have left in my book. Feel free to take a look at what I've got and make some suggestions. I would love to go over thought processes for some other people. I know that Keijin does this on his channel. He talks about why he's doing things, and that is a huge help to those who want to learn the game. And he also talks through what he thinks his opponent is going to do, which is really one of the best skills you can have in this game, is figuring out what your opponent is going to do and making a plan against that. Especially if you're in the dominant position and have board control. If you can anticipate what your opponent is doing, then you can keep that board control. If they can pull a fast one on you and get you with something you're not ready for, then they can reassert their own board control and you might be in the back foot. So anticipating what your opponent can do is really helpful. Thanks everybody for, I don't even know what to call this series. So tactics, it's been Tactics with Puddnhead. See you later.